What is up, YouTube? Today we are going to be fixing a intermediate shaft bearing on a 2010 Ford Focus. The passenger side is the one with the intermediate bearing. This is my car, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this figured out. eauto.net is supplying all the information on the repair for the Ford Focus. All this is really going to be is a repair video and a diagnosis video on how to figure out if you guys have the same problem that I have. So let's get started. So 2010 Ford Focus, we are having a noise coming from the front right on hard acceleration. It sounds like a kind of sounds like a grinding almost, or a vibration grinding. It's a little weird, but hard to explain. It's called a warble noise. Get that? I've never heard that one before. And pretty much, yeah, I gotta fix this, and yeah, hopefully all goes good. Okay, guys, so we are in the car, and the diagnosis is to drive your car from anywhere to 3,500 RPM to 4,500 RPM, and supposedly in automatics you want to keep it in first gear. In manuals, same thing, first gear. It usually isn't for the manuals, but mine is making the same noise, and I know what this is by now, but just so you guys know how to diagnose this. So anyways, let's get started. Alright, so you want to accelerate from 35 to 45. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but let's try a right turn and accelerate. Okay, so I don't know if you guys heard that, but pretty much the noise comes specifically from the front right. It sounds kind of like a grinding or a vibration noise. Yeah, try to turn right and accelerate. That's another way you can figure this out. Damn, these roads are shaky. And yeah, pretty much that's it. Just go ahead and figure out if you can recreate that noise. And if that's your noise, then here's the video that will get it fixed for you, hopefully. Okay, guys, so here we go. First thing you want to start with is getting that CV axle nut off. If you're on the ground, go ahead and use a long breaker bar like so, and for these guys it is a 1 1/4 socket. Anyways, yeah, it's a 1 1/4 socket that fits on this guy really snug, so make sure it fits snug, don't use anything that doesn't. And yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get the brakes, the suspension all taken off, and then get the CV axle handing, and we'll go from there. Okay, guys, so I got the brake caliper disconnected, the axle nut, the rotor's off, the brake line's just hanging right there, or sorry, the caliper. I have the tie rod bolt off. By the way, that you can use an Allen key inside of that. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm sorry, my phone sucks. But in the top right there. So I also took out the strut bolt right here. So next step, I'm going to move the brake caliper over here, and right here we're just going to tap it a couple times with a rubber mallet. Mine's kind of messed up, but I still have some rubber on this side, so that's okay. And you want to break free the connection right here just a little bit, so you can loosen up the stabilizer links right here, the top bolt here and the bottom bolt there. So okay, so that's busted down a little bit. Now I'm gonna go ahead and take this bolt off. Don't get your nuts and bolts mixed up. I do know what goes to what, and I have all of them right here. My lug nuts are over here. And yeah, so go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and remove this bottom one. Now that we got the top loose, we're gonna take out the link, and then it's time to push this down. The hub all the way down, so we can get the CV axle out of its casing. By the way, I do have the ball joint bolt disconnected, but I have to wait until I get the strut link out to get that. So yeah, here we go. Okay guys, so I just got my stabilizer bar link out. Just to let you know, if you have problems taking this off, like per se the bottom one, it actually goes in the other way like this, the bottom one does. But if you have some problems with taking this off and it just spins, just to let you guys know, there is a little nut on the other side. I don't know if you see those two flat ends right there. You can grab them with just some pliers, or I believe that is a 15 or a 16 millimeter. Okay, so the tie rod is out. I gave it a kick down real quick, and that loosened this up. I just kicked it on the hub right here. Just good solid kick. That separated. Now we can move this out of the way and get the ball joint out, and once the ball joint's out, the hub's out. So yeah, let's go. Okay guys, so we're under the car. Thought I'd share a bit of information with you. So might have an AC leak. That doesn't look good, but everything else looks pretty clean. The fill plug, by the way, we're facing the back of the car right now. Yeah, I know I'm not on on stands, but I do have a jack stand and a jack, and I have a scissor jack. So, but anyways, yeah, this is the fill pole. This is on the front of the transmission, and then on the back here by the motor mount, if you look, where'd it go? Right here. So we were facing the front right of the car. Here's the front of the car. Now under the intermediate shaft and the bearing, follow that, and literally right where the motor mount sits, it is hiding right there under the intermediate shaft. So that is the drain plug. The other one in the front is the fill plug. It takes 2.1 quarts. I did get a synthetic manual transmission fluid from Motorcraft, so I got the good stuff. But pretty much some people run ATF in their manual transmissions. So yeah, gonna go ahead and get those out, drain that old fluid out, fill it up with a funnel. I might actually have to use a funnel with a longer nose, but aside from that, pretty much that's it. Filling it up will be a little bit of a pain. It's kind of hard to fit in there. I might have to take out the intake, but I don't know, we should be able to work around it. Progress comes with time. So, yep, the fully synthetic transmission fluid. Got 3 quarts of that stuff, pretty expensive. Got the axle here with the intermediate shaft on it. So pretty much I'm gonna drain that out before I take the axle out, because you want to make sure that no fluid comes out when you take out the axle. And aside from that, yeah. Okay guys, so I have the drain plug under here. I wasn't sure if I had the right size Allen key, but I did find it. I just used the front one to figure out if I had the right one real quick, because it is closer, easier to access. As you can see, there's barely any movement in there. So, yep, go to the back of the transmission and put the pan under there, drain it out real quick, and then yeah, go ahead and remove the axle, and then after that, I'll get back to you. just like an oil change. I don't know if you can see that. No, you can't. The fluid's still pretty clean and red. It still has some color to it, so looks pretty good, but definitely needs to be changed. It loses its properties after so long. This has gone 80,000 miles without having a trans fluid change, so I think you guys would like to know that, because yeah, it was about time. It's getting kind of goopy. Yeah, I'm sorry for the quality of the video. I'm using my phone, but there we go. It's a little goopy. It's still pretty good though. And also, in order to get this off, the bolts face towards the motor, because this is behind the motor. And in order to get to it, I'm just using a 13mm socket with a 1/4 inch extension, or sorry, 3/8 extension. Okay guys, so I got the intermediate shaft off of the CV axle. As you can see, I just had to use the rod gun, whatever. Actually, just so you guys know, this is the problem. The bearing inside of the intermediate shaft here, where the CV axle connects right there, where my thumb is, it actually wears out over time, just like any bearing. So if you're hot on your car like I am, this will happen. Let me try to get it steady. It's kind of hard to show you guys, but okay guys, so I got this little cover popped off of the intermediate shaft. I just got a screwdriver right there. The bracket itself will be just fine. Literally it's just a little piece of metal, but anyways, inside of here there is some shredded up gunky stuff. Yeah, inside there, that doesn't look like grease. It definitely doesn't look good. But that is the inside of the bearing. And now I can kind of show you the wobble a little bit better. So let's go ahead and try this. So that is the play that this has. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and take this off real quick, and then yeah. Okay guys, so I removed the intermediate shaft. I don't know where it went. Anyways, so now in order to get the bearing out, you have to take out these snap rings right here. I have some snap ring pliers, but those actually aren't working that good, so I'm just gonna use these needle nose and then get a flathead screwdriver under here on the opposite side, and then pry out as soon as that's loose. You have to clamp them at the same time, so boy, I can't clamp them with the phone on, but anyways, you get the point. You clamp them and then get a screwdriver, pry out from the opposite end or underneath where you're clamping right here, and then work your way around if you do it that way. But if you pull out this end, you should just be able to pop it all the way out, and that's how I'm going to do it. So I'll get back to you once I do that, and then we're actually going to get a big socket, put it on here, and hammer this out. Sorry I haven't been able to get footage of working on this, but I got the snap ring plier. I used that actually, and I just went ahead and got that right here. I opened it. You actually have to like reverse it, so you have to pull out to close the snap ring, and you have to push in to fit it on there. And then after that, I lifted up the back end, and then one of the ends popped out, so I just worked my way halfway around. So that's how you do it that way. Okay, so now it's time to remove the bearing. Okay, so pretty much here it is. You have all the room to get the bearing out, about 1/4 of the way. This is a 1 3/16 socket. It fits just right in there. has a little bit of play, but not too much. I'm actually going to use the rubber mallet. I'm going to try to use it. It's going. It doesn't have much longer, but yeah, give it a couple taps, see if it bottoms out. Once it bottoms out, pretty much, I'm just going to pull it over about here, and then that way the bearing can just fall out, and I don't really care about dropping the socket, so it'll just be like this. Okay guys, so that is out. Okay. Here. So that is out. There's some shavings on the floor, some wood shavings, but yep, there's the bearing. The play in it is back and forth. It's not like side wobble, but that can still cause a noise, so we have to replace it. Anyways, here's the shaft. The bracket. We need to go ahead and get the new bearing on here, but I'm going to clean up its head a little bit and lube it up so everything can be installed easy. But yeah, after lubing up the inner shaft and the bearing on the new shaft, push the bearing in. I would recommend that you use a bearing joints set. Pretty much they sell them in AutoZone, or you can get them on loan, and they're about, I want to say like 60 bucks, but yep, an installer and remover bearing tool. So just a little bit. Go ahead and lubricate the input shaft. Lubricate the bearing spacer. Shout out to 1A Auto. I didn't get this for free, I bought it, but this is the only store I could find the input shaft with the bearing and the CV axle all attached in one, and it was under 60 bucks, so yeah, thank you. Okay guys, so sorry about that. I had to go and put all the footage that I just made onto my computer and remove it off of my phone because my phone was overloaded with memory, so it wouldn't allow me to play any more footage, or to record anymore. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and continue. So I need to get the bearing with the input shaft on it into the bracket, so that way I can just go ahead and put it on the car because I'm kind of in a hurry. So I need to get this on, and then I need to put the snap ring on it too. So yeah, if you're doing this, don't forget the snap ring just in case. It'd suck to be halfway ready and put it back on and then have to put a snap ring on it. So yeah, I'm going ahead and lubing up the bearing for the input shaft. Just a little bit, not too much. Like, you don't want to put dabs and dabs of grease on it, but you do want to make sure it's lubricated. Like, you can tell there's grease on there. So, anyways, yeah, now I'm going to go ahead and put these two together and go ahead and put this on the car. So, we will get back to you when this is put back together and on the car. Yeah, make sure you get the right parts before you fucking go buy them, because I guess I just didn't know the right part number or something. And yeah, I even put lube on it, so I hope they'll return it. I'll clean it up and everything. So, but yeah, this is called How Not to Order Parts Off of 1A Auto. Officially, not really, but I'll go ahead and get some footage when I get the new input shaft in the mail in the next couple days, and I'll make a video of putting the new input shaft in. And then once the input shaft is in, we'll see if the sound is fixed or not. So, yep, we'll get back to you, but I'm going to go ahead and post this video as part 1, removal and how to diagnose if this is your problem. So I will go ahead and get back to you in part 2. Thank you guys for watching. If you like, go ahead and hit that like button, and if you want to, go ahead and subscribe. I don't know how much new footage I'm going to have for you because I don't like having problems on my cars. I'm just fixing it and making a video because I haven't seen any other videos like this for this car, so I figured I could be a first to do this. And yeah, go ahead and have a good day. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in part 2.